Okay.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind.
Yeah, hold on.
To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm going for four in the fucking white sand.
Show this out early.
Okay. We back, man. Yo, what's the deal? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is Nice and Neat. And today we have another thought-provoking topic.
Hello.
I'm excited for this episode. I think it's critical. I think it's important, and I think every single man should listen. And obviously, ladies, if the men is listening, then you should be listening as well. You know, how many times have you been walking on the street with a man and he was walking on the inside? You know, how many times have you been dropped off and he pulled off before?
Yeah. What's that called, bro?
Before you even.
What is that
Before
called?
you even got in the house.
Hey, what's that word, bro?
Fellas, I think we talking chivalry.
Okay.
We talking chivalry today.
Okay.
So, with that being said, fellas, like, what does chivalry mean to you? Because I think those two things that I said to start off the episode, I definitely believe that's universal for us.
For sure.
Absolutely.
That's universal.
Well, before I get into it, how you feeling, Jalon?
You know
How
what?
you feel, bro?
I'm glad that you asked
Like
that.
physically, mentally, spiritually, how you
great.
feeling, bro?
That's great.
Man, that's
And
a
this
good
is a safe space. This is a safe space.
You know what? I'm gonna say physically, I feel an 8.
Okay.
And I feel an 8 because I'm just starting this little fish thing to where I want to kind of like lean out. Mentally, June has been a month for me to where I said I was gonna lock in, so I feel pretty good. I was upset with myself the other day. I got tired and I went to sleep rather than finishing something that I needed to finish. So I did beat myself up a little bit about that. And emotionally, I'm going to say an 8.
Okay.
I'm going to say an 8.
Okay.
I'm going to say an 8.
Okay.
What about you, bro?
I'm feeling good, bro.
Okay.
I'm feeling refreshed, man. I'm just fresh off a trip from Greece, you know. So things are lovely, man. I'm feeling like reactivated, recharged, and ready to get back into the grizzy, you know. I'm feeling refreshed, man. I had a chance to travel and do some things since now the world is opening back up, you know, and so I'm good, man. I'm happy to be back in the studio with you fellas, man, and ready to talk chivalry, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Yeah, what
man,
about you?
yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good, man. Back in the studio with my brothers, right? It's the weather is great now.
Summertime
We don't have to wear
outside.
we don't have to wear
Cooking.
any masks. So
Boy.
physically, I'm damn near in the best shape I've been in my life, right? Mentally, I'm focused. I'm aligned. I know what I want. I know how I feel. Spiritually, I'm in touch. So everything is clicking right now. Everything is clicking right now. But I really want to just, before we even got into it, just kind of put it out there and make sure we are, asking each other those questions.
No, that's great, bro.
But
I
yes,
appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Great, bro.
But the magic word, y'all,
Chivalry.
chivalry.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
All right. And in my humble opinion, I think chivalry is a bit of
Wait, hold on. Before
Okay.
you, hold on, sorry.
Okay, I like
I
it.
hate to cut you off like that. But before you give, like, what you think about it, let's just tell the people, like, what the dictionary says, right? Or how you truly define chivalry, right?
Okay.
Before we get into
I like-
our
okay,
opinion.
yeah, I
before
like
we get into
that.
our
I like that.
own opinions, right? So if you look up the word chivalry, it says the medieval knightly system with its religious, moral, and social code. The combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak.
wow. Wow.
Chivalry.
I don't believe many people have ever looked up that word. So like I wanted to put that out there before we started diving.
Yeah, I think we throw it around based off just a feeling thing and not based off factual definition, But my interpretation, how about that, is that it's a bit of a proper gentleman etiquette, right? It's noble behavior. It's protective behavior almost, and it's the willingness to, at least as a man, it's the willingness to help someone that's a bit more delicate, even though they can help themselves, right? And I think that, you know, it's just a quality that some men have to learn. Yeah. It's not a quality that everyone is born with or it comes naturally. It's something that it's taught and learned.
Yep.
So that's my kind of rendition of the word chivalry.
Yeah. I think just to keep it as simple as possible to kind of piggyback off of Duke, because he didn't really specify. For me, it's just really being a gentleman at all times to all women. You know, I know like a lot of times when people think of chivalry, they think about a woman that they're actually dating, seeing, or courting.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me personally, it doesn't just stop there. You know, it goes a little bit further. You know, it's really all women. So, you know, that's just like as simple as I could really make it for the listeners and the viewers.
I have to agree with you. I feel like chivalry is you're just that guy.
Yeah.
You're just that guy. There's no confusion.
Yeah.
You know, everyone looks at you and they say, oh, nah, when you're dealing with Omar, you're going to get
X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, like moving towards like chivalry, like Duke said, it kind of has transitioned to like more of a feeling thing. And I think, and I want you guys to speak to this, is I believe that chivalry is just kind of a subtle way as well of letting you know that woman is there. Like, you know that she's there, you appreciate her presence, and you also are concerned about her safety.
Absolutely.
So just small things.
Yeah.
You know, as I mentioned, walking on the outside of the street.
Right.
Like, do you think I'm going to take on the car? But it's the gesture, right? Not pulling off before.
Like, I'm going to go ahead with the car, with the Dodge Ram. No, thank you.
Dodge Ram.
But you're actually just letting her know that, like, if it does happen, like, I'm willing to take that.
I'm willing to, absolutely.
Even though I don't want to, I'm willing to put myself in that vulnerable position.
Now, I'm glad you said that. There's a thing that, I don't know if it's a meme, but it's a quote, but there is something out there that says, if you want to know what type of man someone is, watch how he treats the woman that he's not attracted to.
Oof.
It's very easy to treat a woman that you're attracted to.
Nice. Kind
and with nice gestures and things like that. But like you said and alluded to, watch how you watch a man, right? A man's character. If you really want to know about him, just watch how he treats women that he's not attracted to, and not to tell you, okay, this is a good guy. Right. This guy is chivalrous. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know, I guess that's a good segue into, like, you know, what it really looks like for all of us. You know, and I know you began to touch on that. You know, for me though, like when I'm dating a woman, if I'm not drinking and I just so happen to drive, we're going on a date, you know, I'm gonna walk to her door and, you know, wait on her to come out to the car, walk her to the car, open the car door, you know, let her inside the whip. You know, when we pull up to the spot, you know, whether I'm valeting or whether I'm parking my car myself, I'm gonna walk around, I'm gonna hop out the car, walk around, open the door for her. You know, so it's just always about being as courteous as possible. But, you know, even with other women, and even those other things, like you said, like making sure she got inside the house before you pull off, walking on the outside of the curb, you know, just basic, simple things that, you know, a lot of men should be aware of, right? But even with other women, like, I've never been in a situation where, let's just use it as an example of me, like, walking into a building and a woman being behind me and me not holding the door.
Right.
I don't even have to know who the woman is.
Exactly.
You know, the woman doesn't have to be attracted to me.
Right.
She could be completely unattractive to me.
Absolutely.
She's still a woman.
Yeah. She's
still a woman. Like, if I see if I'm walking in the parking lot and I see a woman struggling to get her groceries in her car, I'm gonna run over there and help her. Although I have no relationship with that woman, you know.
Yeah, that's someone that's chivalrous. Is a man that's chivalrous understands his place in the world.
Facts.
That's just what you do.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think something that's really commonly associated with that is the relationships that men have with the women in their families. Because that's kind of where it starts, by doing acts for women that you have no motive for.
Right.
You know, this is my sister. This is my mother. You know,
there's no intimate.
There's no intimate connection. Yeah. There's nothing like that. That just like, I'm doing this for this purpose. Right. So I show my sister chivalry through me, so she can know what to expect. And if a man is walking into the building first and he don't hold the door, it's like, oh nah, we definitely can't do nothing there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and as well with my mom. And you know, I think when you do it with your mom, it not only reinforces what she's taught you, but also shows her that you can go out to the world and treat another woman right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, as you're telling the story, I'm thinking about just like my childhood and growing up, and I'm pretty sure a lot of ours are very similar, you know, in this regard. Like, we're actually taught chivalry like at an early age.
Yeah.
Like when you're at the grandma's house for Thanksgiving and it's something outside, all the fellas, you got to go outside and go get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like the women, we're not sending the women outside to go grab anything.
Yeah.
Fella, boys, go out there and go do the hard work, or the hard labor, whatever.
The labor.
Go outside and do the labor. You
Protect,
know,
you know?
and protect. You know, so these are things that we are taught early, whether they're direct or indirectly.
So speaking of that, right? How you touched on the women of the family, right? Why would chivalry be? What do women like the most about chivalry? Like, what does that show them?
But real quick, before we get to that point, bro, I also think that chivalry has nothing to do with women needing. It's not about women needing something. Chivalry is much more about what we want to do for them, right? It's not, a woman could take out the trash.
Right.
A woman can pump her gas.
Right.
A woman can pull her own seat out and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those are things that they can do for themselves. So it's not a matter of they can't do. It's a matter of I want to do for them to make their process easier. Right? If they're cold, I want to give them a jacket. If we are pulling up to a spot and they have heels on and I have to find parking far away, maybe I'll suggest that, hey, let me let you out. So I don't have to park far and you have to walk all the way to the spot. That's an example of chivalry that many people may not know about, right? It comes in all forms. So I think that it's important to point out what type of acts, what chivalrous acts there are, right? So people understand, like, so the guys, all the listeners and all the viewers, you guys understand specific things you can do to make sure that you're being a chivalrous man. But Jalon, back to your point, right? Why do women enjoy chivalry?
And all women, I mean, including your mother,
right?
You know, your sister, and even someone who you're interested in dating. You know, like why? Why?
I mean, that's
Where do we start?
I mean, well, for one, I think like chivalrous acts like make women feel like queens or royalty.
Yes.
Right. And even when we think back of like the chivalrous times, think back of like the phrase like my knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Right. Like women look forward to like someone coming to like place them on a pedestal, save the day. Right. That would make anyone feel special. Even a man, like someone, you know, like.
So can women be chivalrous?
No,
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt your point.
Well, even just based on the definition, right? If you play, regardless, right? The definition says they can, and I don't know about you guys, but I think chivalry is something that is reserved for men to do for women.
Correct.
Yeah, I believe
that's
that
what
too.
I believe.
Me too.
Right, and that's just one of those things. It's not like a shun or anything. It's just something that we do for women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of our strong suits that we just like we can't have children.
Right.
Just because we can't have children.
Yeah.
And they're 100 times stronger than us in that area. I believe chivalry is an area that's reserved for us.
Men. Now, it doesn't mean that women can't do nice gestures.
No.
They can do nice gestures, right? It's just they can't be chivalrous. But I think that chivalry lets women know that you're actually putting in effort.
Correct.
Right? It's like when a man puts in effort, it lets women know that they're desired, right? I'm talking about as far as dating goes, right? Because like we said, I could be chivalrous towards my mom and my sister, but I'm talking about a more intimate connection. Chivalry lets women know that I'm interested in you and I desire you, right? Because I don't have to be. Right. And I would imagine that being in the presence of a gentleman, right, and being treated like a lady with respect is, you know, a pleasant experience.
For sure.
Right? And I think that women are here for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then also, I think women like to be courted and protected. And at the very baseline, I think that most women are looking for that physical, that mental, that emotional protection, and I think a chivalrous man is kind of where it starts.
Yeah. I just want to be clear. You said that, it makes women feel like desired and, wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's for the women that you're actually courting.
Right.
Right? So, like, the woman that you open the door for, the random woman that you open the door for in the lobby, she shouldn't feel like you're desiring her, right?
Hell, she might.
She might.
She might, bro.
She might not experience chivalry on that level.
So where does the line draw? Like, where does, because could that like confuse and create some blurred lines in women's heads?
It can, and that's a lot of times why nice guys.
Because so all of a sudden that women think that everyone that opens a door for them is interested in them.
That's a possibility, but that's not our problem, though.
That's not our problem.
It's not for us. It's not for us to dissect that. It's for us to continue to because once again, being chivalrous is not about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a code within you.
It's about who we are.
Yep.
So if I'm gonna be who I am, however people receive it or perceive it, right? I still got to be a gentleman. I still got to do what I think is right and conduct myself in the manner that I think is appropriate.
For sure.
And I'm selfishly chivalrous.
Selfish. I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that?
Sorry, ladies.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
So if we had to use it, I would say you get more bees with honey.
Okay.
And if bees like honey, I should start producing some damn honey.
I'm picking up what you laying down.
So with that being said,
I'm picking up.
So with that being said, if I'm producing honey, I should get a lot of bees.
I comprehend. Yeah.
I'm picking up what you laying down.
You grabbing that?
Yeah. I hear you. Okay.
Okay.
So but that also goes with, if I see a like you said earlier, a woman at the grocery store that I have no interest in, but I still want her to look at me in that light, I'm still going to be selfishly chivalrous.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that just becomes
It's not about you, baby.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
It's not about you, baby.
It's not about you. And we do all of this reading and things like that, and everybody talk about like invest in yourself. And those are investments in myself that I do. That creates me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So being selfish in that aspect is something that I do. I'm very chivalrous.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you care about your presentation.
Absolutely.
You care about your presentation.
Whether it's my mom,
hey, my name is on
my
this
sister,
thing. Yeah.
a woman I'm dating, her mom.
And honestly, you want it like that, right? You want a man that's chivalrous no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because we start playing the other game, we picking and choosing when we want to be chivalrous based on how you look, based on how what you could do for us. But a man that's chivalrous, bro, is someone that is just that has honor, all right? That carries himself with nobility, and that cares about respect. Because what he's putting out, he's setting the tone for like, yo, I need you to give it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a man that is going to be chivalrous no matter what, is letting you know, like, this is how we getting down.
He's actually setting the expectation for
Yes.
the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the expectation for how he wants to be treated from a stranger
Facts.
or addressed from a stranger.
Yes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I think that another reason women enjoy chivalry, I feel like chivalry is parallel with the fantasy, right, that women have wanted their whole lives.
That's good.
Right? I feel like
Yeah.
when women think about their knight in shining armor and they think about their dream life, they don't think, man, I sure want a guy who doesn't open the door for me. Right? I sure would love a guy who doesn't give me a jacket when I'm cold. No, when they think of like their dream life and they think about their husband and they think about the guy they want, they think, man, I want a guy who's going to open the door, who's going to buy me flowers. I don't care what women you are.
It's a part of the story they created.
It's a part of the Cinderella story, right? And being chivalrous is consistent with that lifelong dream that a lot of women have had since they've been kids. You get what I'm saying?
What a way to enter halftime.
Hello.
Hey, he finished that first half strong.
Strong with touchdown.
Boy, oh man, what's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show. I'm your host, Omar, and I want to take this time, this moment, this opportunity to just talk about and promote the things that we have going on here. And if you haven't heard already, Jalon Webster, our very own, Nice and Neat's very own, has his own masterclass called Create Gold, centered around learning how to develop your own brick and mortar establishment. All right, you can find it in his bio on Instagram at jess.jalan. Not to be confused with any other handle that's out there. We've also seen a lot of handles or fake handles, or whatever you want to call them, of Jalan's page. So just be sure you're going to the right one. And if you guys see that fake page, feel free to spam it for us and report it for us, just to help us out. Because
we working to get me verified.
That's what we're working for. That's what we're working for now.
Right.
That's what we're working for right now. With that said, let's get into today's game. Them the rules. Dude, what we got?
All right, y'all. So the question of the segment is, all right, y'all following?
We're right there with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
The question is spoiling your girl considered tricking?
Ooh.
What's
tricking mean in this situation?
Okay,
though?
so tricking in this situation is frivolously spending, I guess, unjustifiably.
And when you say your girl,
like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Let's
when you say your girl,
how do y'all want it?
Is this your girlfriend, or is this
it's
just like
your girlfriend,
shorty?
Let's do this. Let's not make it your girl.
Oh, that's great.
That makes things a little more a little more gray area-ish, right?
Yep.
So let's not make it, but let's say it's a girl that you've been rocking with, a girl you've had physical intimacy with.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
She's on the schedule.
She's on the schedule.
She's in the system. No. But listen, is spoiling your girl or spoiling a woman considered tricking?
It's not your girl.
This is not your woman.
Is it gonna be your girl?
No one knows.
Too early to tell.
No one knows.
Are you spending the money in order to sway her into being your girl? Are you spending the money because you think she deserves it?
Who's asking the questions here, man?
Sorry,
Is it me or you?
I'm just trying to get a clear picture.
Let's say you're spending the money to sway her to be your girl. So what y'all got?
To sway her to be your girl?
Yes.
You tricking.
You
tricking. If you're using your wallet, to determine your fate, you tricking, fam.
If you using your wallet to determine your fate, you tricking.
Is that a
nice and neat original? Yes,
for sure.
I think that is a great take on it.
Sure.
I think that's a great take on it.
Yeah.
That right there. Wow.
Okay, why though? Why is it like some people would say, well, it's just a nice gesture, right? He's just doing nice things. He likes somebody. So like, how is that considered tricking?
Because he's not confident in his words. He's overcompensating for something. You know, if he had just a little bit of conversation, he may not have to do that.
Okay.
You know, he may not be confident in his conversation, right?
Okay.
So he's trying to use the money as a front to cover up things in areas where he may not be as confident or may be lacking at.
Right. So
that's my opinion.
So it doesn't necessarily make you a real man or a boss ass man to do that.
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I mean, I think there's a lot of men who we would consider to be like maybe not ain't shit, but that's tricking. You know.
Okay.
Right. I mean, if we're being honest,
right?
If we're being honest, you know, so I don't think that necessarily classifies you as a boss.
Okay, so is it tricking if you got it? Is it tricking if you got it? What y'all think?
That's actually a really good question.
That's a great question.
That's a great question, right?
It's an age-old question, actually.
It's
an age-old question, actually. I actually believe that it becomes the questions first and foremost is very subjective. Because it is different to everybody.
True.
So I think it depends based off of what you're using it for.
Okay.
If you're using it because you're not confident in the way that you speak to someone, you tricking. But if you're using it because you're just like, oh no, like this it's not hurting me. This is all good.
Right.
I'm in her ear too, you know, and she like me for me. If I went broke today, whether I was spending this money or not, she's still gonna be like, nah, he's dope.
Okay.
If she don't feel that way, you tricking.
Okay, so
That's
let
real.
me ask y'all, let's get to the rules. All right. In what scenario is it okay to spend frivolously on a woman?
when it's your girlfriend? Your girlfriend.
Well, is there only one rule?
No.
Because I feel like if you single,
there are a few.
I feel like if you single,
Frivolously.
frivolously, that's the.
No, I ain't talking
that's
about
the operative word.
I ain't talking
Okay,
about. I ain't
okay.
talking about one splurge boy.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Frivolously.
Frivolously.
We're talking about she telling her homegirls, "Hey, yo, like he's spending a bag on me."
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Right.
tricking.
It's tricking.
It's tricking.
Unless-
so unless it's your girl.
Unless it's your girl.
Because I'll close it out, guys. It's okay to spend money on your girl frivolously, right? Because she's deserving, right? And 9 times out of 10, she's gonna reciprocate it in one way or the other. So you're gonna feel appreciated. So it's not a one-way and one-sided relationship, all right, or spending relationship, or whatever. And it has nothing to do with sexual encounters. It has nothing to do with, yo, I'm spending money on this person because she's just eye candy. This is actually, you spend money on this person because you actually have a deep connection with this person. You like this person. You love this person.
You want the best for
and
them.
You want this person. And you want, like, and this person, honestly, is a representation of you.
Absolutely.
Right? So
That's what
if someone is a representation of you, then you're going to do anything within your means, of course, to make sure that they feel appreciated. Right? And, and
I agree. Like at that point, it
those
just
are
become a flex.
yeah.
It just become flex, and your girl should be your biggest flex.
Your biggest flex,
And
right?
Them the rules.
Absolutely.
That was great. I hope you guys are ready for the second half. We're going to close out halftime the only way we know how, and that's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. Let's get into the second half. Let's go.
Man, that was good. That was them the rules.
I love it.
I love them the rules.
I love them the rules.
I love them the rules.
By the way, you guys got to hashtag that.
Hashtag
Yeah.
them the rules.
Yeah, hashtag that. Post it, tag us in your tweets, and on your Instagram stories, so we can share that.
Hashtag
Reshare
boys.
that.
Hashtag boys.
Hashtag.
So look, check this out, guys. Right. One question that I didn't ask in the first half was, people ask it all the time, and I think it varies code to code, group to group, person to person, male to male. But, things can become extinct.
Wow, that's great.
Based off of certain circumstances within whatever generation or whatever time it is. So I do want to ask you guys this. Do you guys believe that chivalry is dead?
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because like as we are getting further away from those medieval times, and like the leaders of the new school are continuing to emerge, it's easy to say that like chivalry is dead or even dying out.
Yeah.
Right? But when I sit here and I look in this room, I look at like my friends, my close circle, the men that I deal with on a regular basis, the men I do business with, and the people I consider to be friends, like I know it's very much alive, right?
Yeah.
Because those values and those acts have been passed down to the next generation. Like at some point in your life, within your family structure, like chivalrous acts were passed on to you, right? And it's up to you to decide whether you want to put those in motion for your life or not, right? But I would say that a lot of people would think it's dead. Like recently, not too long ago, I was at the doctor. I was getting some blood work done, and I was writing down my insurance information. I was filling it out, and I'm literally locked into the paper, but I just got great awareness. I see an elderly woman walking with a walker, right? She's walking towards the door. I immediately drop what I'm doing and jump up to open the door. Now, I don't know if I startled this woman because I jumped up so fast or because she just couldn't believe that I did it. But even as I'm opening the door, the way she said, "Wow, thank you. You're so kind."
Yeah.
The way she said it was like, like
Uncommon.
It's
This
uncommon.
doesn't happen.
It's like
Uncommon.
it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is such a sad thing to
Especially
see.
for someone that's elderly.
Elderly, bro.
Right.
I'm talking this woman is using a walker, Like she's lived a really full life, and back in her day when she was growing up, like these are things that happen on the normal. I mean, guys are literally putting their jackets over puddles
Yes.
for women.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, I would say from a general perspective, like it's easy to say that it is dead, But when I look around at like the people that I keep close to me, like I know that it's not. I know how you treat women. I know how you treat women, how you respect women. Like, so I can't say that it's dead at all. I strongly believe in it. I know you guys strongly believe in it. Our women feel like they're being courted and we're chivalrous towards them. So, I would say it's a yes for the general public, but for me, no, it's not at all.
Yeah, I think that chivalry's not dead,
It's not.
but it's not the same.
There you go. That's a better way to put it.
Chivalry's not dead, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I understand why women say chivalry's dead.
Yeah.
I get it, right? I'm not going to be one of those guys that say, no, all guys do this, because all guys don't, right? And that's coming from, that's like the assumption that all men are naturally chivalrous is just a misconception.
Right.
Yeah.
Chivalry is learned and taught. And over time, things do get diluted and wither out, right? And you just have to understand the times we living in is kind of how we get to that point. You know, I think that, you know, there's plenty of men that are still chivalrous, but it's just not common practice, right? And it's not second nature to every man. And I think we're living in a time where women are much more self-sufficient, right? And they are, you know, bosses and CEOs and leaders and independent and all those things, right? And they're much more sufficient than they used to be, right? And it's not because they were incapable, but the rules of society just made it, you know, more difficult for women to be self-sufficient back in the day, right? So now today, women are much further along than where they used to be. So naturally, it can interrupt the flow, right? And the dynamic in the relationship. And it's not on women to say, yo, it's not on women to like throttle it down. Women are supposed to be pioneers and women are supposed to be leaders and go-getters and things like that, right? So it's not women's fault that chivalry is dying, right? It's just a byproduct of what it is. It's a byproduct of women being ambitious.
Well, could it be their fault for not demanding that?
No, because they can demand it all they want, right? But it's more, chivalry is a byproduct of the times, not demands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not about demands. I don't think men were chivalrous back in the day because women demanded it.
Yeah.
I think men were chivalrous back in the day because
That's what
it
we
was
knew.
conducive. It was
conducive to them as well.
to them and the relationship, right? It's like easy for me to pick up the tab all the time if my woman ain't making no money. You know,
Right.
It
actually makes all the sense
Right,
for me
so-
to pick up the tab.
So for chivalry, right? It's dead, but it's kind of logical.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not saying it's right or wrong, but when you think about how we got to the point, you would say, okay, well, just it does make sense. I'm a chivalrous person by default, right? I've learned to be this way, right? You guys are chivalrous people, right? And we fully believe in doing chivalrous things and doing chivalrous acts because that's just who we are and that's our representation. And we pride ourselves on being outstanding gentlemen,
Yep.
right? But I do understand
Society, because the elevation of
Yes.
women and self-sufficiency
Right.
has kind
Right.
of diminished the full-blown need for men to feel like they need to be chivalrous.
women are stronger, right? Women are more powerful. Women are bigger leaders.
Yes.
Let's like reiterate that, right? And women aren't doing anything wrong.
No.
They're supposed to be doing these things.
Yeah.
But the natural occurrence of that is deteriorated chivalry.
So let me ask you this, just to be blunt then. Do you guys think the natural occurrence of, as you said, women being leaders, women being more powerful, chivalry subconsciously is being rejected?
Subconsciously.
Wait, are you asking
from
that?
women?
Yeah, I'm asking you that. From women. It's subconsciously being
Rejected?
rejected because I don't need you to do this for me.
That's a good question. That's because I understand when you say subconscious, it's like, yo, I don't even know I'm doing it,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
they can like, I think women can say, yo, we want people to be chivalrous, but like their actions kind of don't align with that. So I understand what you're saying, but reject is a strong word.
Right.
No, reject is and I use the word rejected because
Yeah.
it's very black and white.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very black and white. So I use the word rejected, and for example, I'll give you an example. I seen a post on Instagram within this past week that actually was referring to one of our episodes earlier in the season, where it was speaking about if your man makes more money, if your woman made more money than you, would you then be uncomfortable as a man? And women said, yeah, you should be comfortable. I mean, you should be uncomfortable because I don't need you for anything. So when that narrative is continuously being put out there
Right.
as that, I don't need you for anything, why would a man feel the need to place himself in a position to allow her to rely on him?
Right.
Well, I mean, regardless of like how she's doing, like there's still gender roles, right? So like,
But those come from somewhere.
Yes.
Gender roles come from somewhere. It comes from how things used to be.
How were things used to be? How did
How
things used to be?
so
right?
so what you're saying is the roles have changed, or the roles don't
Evolved.
exist? The roles have evolved.
Evolved. So
roles
like,
have
so it's
evolved.
a little muddy now, right? So
It's
like
a little muddy.
it's a little muddy now, right?
Yeah.
Because now a lot of the roles that traditionally men used to have, women are taking on,
Yeah.
right? And that's just natural. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's just natural.
Because that's women just, I guess, claiming their independence.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you say reject, I don't think it's rejecting, but I think women care much more about their success and the things that they love and like to do than chivalry.
So as you said before, and we were speaking about how it's just kind of common sense. If you're making more money than your woman back in the day,
That's logical, yeah.
right,
It's
to pick
like-
up the tab,
You asking what it is now?
right? So the core of that is her not having the ability to have the same amount of money
Now she got
as you,
Now
the
she has
range.
now she has
the range.
ability.
Yep.
Now she has ability.
right? So when we talk about the evolution of chivalry, how chivalry was essentially kind of created time after time after time, it was lack thereof, and going back to the definition,
Yeah.
the weak.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if we're talking about chivalry in this day and age and everything is equal and, feminism is at an all-time high
Yep.
and equality is going up and getting more and more equal by the day, where does the place for chivalry live, and what does the new evolution of chivalry really look
Exactly. It's very hard. It's much more difficult for men to find a place for chivalry nowadays. You're absolutely right. Right. And I feel like that's something that we have to work on as men, to find our place and find how we're gonna make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right. Because we have to let go of being chivalrous for the sake of all the old gender roles. It's out the window. So now we got to find other ways to be chivalrous.
Yeah.
And one thing we can always rely on and come back to is that's just how I was brought up with my mom and my sisters, and that's all I know. My mom could provide for herself. My sisters could provide for themselves probably, right? So we had to detach it from this is something I'm doing because this person is weaker than me. This is something I'm doing because this is how I brought up as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we have to get to that. That's the only way I think we can like actively be chivalrous.
And I agree. I agree with what Duke just said, talking about the lack of chivalry. And I think because of the lack of chivalry, it has forced women to become completely self-reliant. And then they now don't even recognize when it's happening. So men that actually do it won't do it because it's not even being recognized. And recognition is a really important thing. Recognition is a really, really important thing. And I think that cycle just continues to happen. And I feel like men just need to stand up and just be like, this is what I do.
Yeah, that part.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is how I operate, no matter what.
That part.
You said our moms could take care of themselves. Our sisters could probably take care of themselves. What you said. I'm pretty sure we all grew up in homes where, our moms were. We come from homes where both parents are working in the home.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we don't come from the medieval times where like mom is staying at home taking care of the
yeah,
kids.
Mom's opening business, chasing dreams,
So
all of that.
she's doing her thing.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of all of that, right? I was still able to watch my dad be chivalrous towards my mother. So I think like if we wanted to exist and continue and to progress and to evolve, it's up to us, to push the needle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, things like all of those acts will continue to fizzle out as women continue to evolve, continue to boss up, and level up.
It just has to be respecting.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, I just care about this woman, or I want this woman to feel appreciated.
This woman, just this woman.
I want this woman to feel appreciated, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that you just lead with that, and then that'll take you through, right? But you can't lead with like she has X, Y, Z, so I'm gonna not give her ABC. You know what I mean? So,
and if you feel like that, you got to just kind of pull yourself away from your situation. If you feel like you're around somebody who you don't need to be chivalrous to, it's probably somebody.
That's the wrong woman.
Yeah, that's probably somebody you don't need to be around. And you said something that was really interesting as far as your father showing you what chivalry was through him, the way he treated your mother. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting because I think that's, as we've been saying, I think that is how we just learn. It becomes learned behavior that you see and that you experience. Like, I don't know where I got it from, but I'm sure one day I was at a restaurant and a woman began to order, and I might have said something as a kid, and I was stopped.
Yep.
You let her order first.
Yep.
Yeah.
You let her speak first. And I don't know the importance of it, and the only thing that can really make sense of it is, like I said earlier, just showing her little subtle ways that you care.
Yeah.
And speaking about what Duke was saying earlier, I believe that chivalry has evolved to now, rather than a place of, oh, you're weak, it's more of a place of, let me show you that I care consistently, even when you're not even paying attention, that I'm caring about you.
Yeah. So,
like you said, small things, holding the door open, allowing her to order first, making sure you don't pull off until she gets in the house.
Man.
Like if you go on a date, bro, and you don't get the ending that you want, don't pull off, dog.
Pull off.
Don't pull off.
And on top of that, right? Forget all that. You only don't invite yourself in, fam. You come in when she invites you, bro. Or you wait till she get inside and you pull off, fam.
Right.
Like that's part of it.
That's part of it.
That's part of it, fam.
Maybe we kind of touched on this, but maybe we should expound. Are the lines blurred between chivalry and independence? What do you guys think?
I think the lines are blurred.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think the lines are blurred because people allow their code to be dictated by what somebody else does.
So you're saying that social media has a lot of influence on how women feel today, generally speaking?
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
People allow whatever somebody else receives or does to dictate how they operate.
Oh, okay, yes.
So that means you don't have your own social code.
Right.
Your own moral code, and that's just what you do.
Yeah.
Like we were speaking about, if someone doesn't receive chivalry and you don't like that, you don't stop being chivalrous.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You continue to be who you are, or you just separate from the situation.
Yeah,
pick somebody else to be chivalrous towards too.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think that's what blurs the lines. People's like, oh, they're not gonna receive my chivalry. Oh, I won't do it. Let me stop opening doors. Let me stop doing this. That kind of carries over into other people that you deal with.
It's a terrible outlook.
It's terrible.
Terrible outlook on life. It's like, one person hurt me, so I'm about to hurt everybody else.
And naturally, as humans, that is innately what we do.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely blurred. Right? Like we said, it's kind of like more women are independent, right? More women are job seekers and could do whatever they want, all right? But what happens is now that we have this evolution of independence and ownership and liberation, right? Naturally what's happened is that women no longer have to subscribe to a societal construct that doesn't necessarily favor them. Mm-hmm. And men know that. And what happens naturally is like, because men know that, it's just a natural reaction to say, yo, I don't know where I fit in. I don't even know if this is going to work. So
partially fear,
right? I don't know if it's going to work. I don't even know if she wants this. So the lines do get blurred, because if all women are telling us how much they don't need us and how much they don't care and how much they don't need men, right?
Then why do I want to be chivalrous?
Then it's just very natural for me to be. It doesn't make men say, okay, I want to do more.
Doesn't provide any incentive.
Right. It doesn't say. It doesn't make men say, yo, I want to do more now to prove that I could be chivalrous. Nah, it makes people say, no. It's like if I have a woman, right, and I'm telling the women I deal with or my girl, like, yo, I don't need a woman that could cook. I don't care. I can cook for myself. Right. And I keep saying that and keep saying that and keep saying that.
You're going to get what you want.
The woman ain't going to be like, no, let me cook for you.
Right.
No, let me prove to you. She's going to be like, all right, well, you keep telling me you don't need someone to cook, then, like, I guess I should just not cook for you. It's the same kind of situation, you know? So I do think it gets blurred, right? But the crazy thing, it gets blurred because people we know, people that are chivalrous know that even independent women still want to be courted properly and still want to have those chivalrous gestures. We know that. But it does get blurry because everyone doesn't feel that way and can't see that. Yeah. Before we get out of here, I do want to give you some small truth, man. Fellas, if you're listening to us or watching us right now, the truth is women won't always appreciate chivalry. Women won't always appreciate nor reciprocate good gestures, right? And being chivalrous doesn't mean everything is going to work out for you. Okay? It doesn't automatically mean everything is going to work out. So just understand that. You may even find yourself being chivalrous to a woman who really doesn't have good character. It may happen. Okay? But the woman shouldn't even matter. It doesn't matter, right? Because chivalry is, just the baseline, right? You should be chivalrous no matter what, no matter who you're dealing with. And chivalry is just a part of your character, right? And you'll never feel like, you're overextending yourself when you make chivalry a part of who you are. Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to remember that when you're going out in the world and you're dealing with women, just remember, like, make chivalry a part of your character, right? And don't make it something that's that you only give and extend to women who you think are deserving.
Give the people some examples. Give them some examples.
So if I'm on a date, right, and
take us there.
If I'm on a date and I'm not having a good time, right, I'm just not having. What if I'm just like, yo, I want to go home.
Yeah,
she's disrespectful. We're not clicking.
I won't be seeing her again.
I won't be seeing her again. That's not your time to say, yo, I'm not going to be chivalrous.
Yes.
Nah.
Still open the door. Still pay for the bill.
Yep.
Right? Still make sure she gets home.
Yep.
And then once the date is over, you go your separate ways.
Yep.
It's not your time to just pull back from the situation. Right? It doesn't matter. Right? If you are driving with a girl you're not attracted to for whatever reason, you have no interest in her. When she pulls over and needs gas, you hop out the car.
Yep.
You go pump the gas.
Pump the gas.
All right. As a man, that's a chivalrous act.
Yep.
You have no interest in this woman. All right. But do it anyway because that's just who you are.
And hey, dim the rules.
Dim the rules. But check this out. As always, we try to give our listeners and our viewers additional value. So today we want to use this opportunity to highlight a book titled Burial-esque. It's written by Anishin Barriola. It's a self-help book focused on how to be a better man, a ton of value, a ton of game. If you are looking for self-improvement, which you all should be, then please check it out. With that said, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and this is Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old, now I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah.